So you mentioned AI a couple times. How do you see AI and automation sort of reshaping, for lack of a better word, the way that companies approach data integration? And what role or how does SnapLogic play in that transformation?
Yeah, yeah. So look, having done this now for decades, shall we say, the exact number is classified. I've come to a point of view, which is when somebody in a business somewhere wants to
Mhm.
create a data integration or an app integration, or needs to connect various business systems together, they have an intention. And that intention needs to be carried out through all the software layers that make it possible. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
the less friction there is between that intention, the actual, and then the actual accomplishment of that connection, the better off the customer is. So,
Mm.
what's been driving us in AI is a realization that integration is a pattern business. You know, radiology is such a ripe field for AI because there's 168 whatever bones. I didn't study medicine, and they're men, women, tall, short, young, old, and all that. But it's a pattern business. You might see an image and say, is that benign or not of a particular scan? But there's a pattern business. Similarly, integration is a pattern business, and we felt that AI would revolutionize how you could connect the enterprise. So we shipped our first product 8 years ago, Iris AI. It was very basic. I like to say that was like my father's GPS, a black and white little arrow that said, turn now. But then by making that bet and then continuing to systematically invest in it through machine learning and then through generative AI, what we've seen is the majority of people using our product use the AI assistants to do it.
Mm.
Even the experts, because it's easier for them to do. So we feel AI is ambidextrous. On the one hand, it lets you connect your enterprise much easier. Secondly, AI self needs data. It's
Mm.
it's dehydrated in the enterprise right now. So we can talk about that some more if time permits.
Well, let's pull on the integration thread a little bit. So AI powered platforms with low code or no code solutions, we see a lot of those. How do you see the role of traditional IT teams changing and evolving in
Yeah,
enterprise integration?
I have a friend who says shadow IT is broken IT, right?
Mm.
So the good news is the CIO has a seat at the table. She's now sitting in the boardroom with the other executives. The bad news is all these other executives are saying, hey, I use Perplexity or I used OpenAI 3 or whatever. How come our stuff doesn't work like this, right?
Yeah.
So that combination of innovation and security, scalability, the enterprise concerns is where I think the modern IT is under a lot of pressure. We think actually that because of AI, there's sort of this AI 2K moment, like a year 2K moment for the modern enterprise, where there's going to be a very finite set of people who embrace it, do it successfully, and spurt ahead, and those who don't get the benefit of AI. Because look, the best way to keep the enterprise secure is to switch off the internet, don't allow any email, don't have any video conferences, put the bunkers up.
That would make a lot of CISOs happy for sure.
Yes, that would, but their salespeople might starve to death. So,
Right. Yeah.
so in that same fashion, I think we are at this point where enterprise IT is under tremendous pressure. And if they approach it in a way that they're a true partner and have the shared objectives with, say, the sales executive, the finance executive, with the
Mhm.
supply chain executive, then they can collaborate to use AI for good, to reimagine business processes, to think of data in new ways. And you can get a lot of benefit from that in the same way as you can in the consumer world.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the IT leaders that I know and have worked with, and there's such a tension between needing to innovate and keeping things secure, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
because the risk is huge when they make
It
mistakes.
is a real risk, and
Yeah.
it's not sort of a bad actor always. One of our
Right.
competitors had the misfortune of having a salesperson upload their customer file to OpenAI's public space. Company, we informed
Yeah.
them that they should take that down, and they did. But look, the way we look at it is we know when you're connected to the internet, there's a chance that an email come across with a phishing attack,
Mhm.
etc. But that doesn't mean you don't use the web, you don't use cloud computing, you use it in a secure manner. In the case of AI, we figured out how to do this in a way that lets people use our API management capability, which is also built into our platform, data integration, app integration, API management, to then have the same access controls that you might have in place so HR can see the payroll, other people can see the payroll. That same access control model can be applied to ingress and egress out to AI LLM. So if you wrap them in an API management layer from us, you can more easily figure out who gets what and who uploads what and uses it. And this is sort of our enterprise pedigree, because this is what we think about in, yes, what does this problem mean for somebody with 100,000 employees? It's a very different set of concerns than somebody with 10, or a unicorn in Silicon Valley. They're laissez-faire about, let's innovate or die kind of thing. But there are 20, 30, $100 billion companies with 100,000 employees that have much to worry about. And at the same time, it's an opportunity.